guys? Welcome back to Perfume Vegas. I'm Holly Golightly, and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be talking about some perfume fragrance oils from a indie brand. Duh, because that's what we're doing. Another US indie brand that used to be super popular in indie fragrance circles, but I think now is a little bit more underground. Their catalog is a lot smaller than it used to be. I know they kind of rebranded, so if you were a fan of this brand in the past, you may be excited to know they're still in operation, or I'm happy to introduce you to a new brand that is extremely good quality, amazing quality. I'm super excited to talk about them. I have several fragrances from this brand, but I'm only talking about two today. One I have that is available for purchase right now. The other is no longer available for purchase, unfortunately. This is from their pre-rebranding era, so I don't know if it will ever be available for purchase, but I wanted to talk about it because I wanted to talk about how something is so well blended. So I'm going to tell you the brand in just a second. First, can we talk about this sweater? I ordered this online from H&M, and I hate turtlenecks because I already am self-conscious of my double chin. This one makes me feel like I am wearing a neck brace. It's so chunky, and I don't really know what to do about it. Oh, now I look like I have one of those like collars, from like medieval England or whatever on. Yeah. I'm sorry that it looks the way it looks and that you're gonna have to like look at my head just floating above my shoulders like this. I apologize. Anyway, on to the what you want to knows. The brand I'm talking about is Arcana Wildcraft, and they are based in the Pacific Northwest here in the US. A lot of indie brands are based in the Pacific Northwest. I'm not sure if it has to do with the climate is like conducive for crafting these fragrances, but or if it just is because of the type of people that live there. They're more open to kind of alternative styles of fragrance as well as creativity. Jesus Christ, this collar is ridiculous. Okay. But they have been in business for some time. I did pull up the website before I came on here because I just wanted to make sure that I could give you the information. I know that maybe some people find it annoying when I'm reading from the computer or my phone, but it's no different than writing it down, so I hope you understand. So Arcana Wildcraft was founded in Portland, Oregon in 2003, and they have been in operation then for 18 years. I discovered the brand in 2016, thereabout. My first purchase from them was in 2016, I believe. So Arcana does things very indie style. They use all natural ingredients, handmade extractions. They use all sorts of different types of ingredient combining, focusing with aromatherapy, astrology, herbalism, witchcraft. They create fragrances that are meant for any occasion, any type of situation. They write on their website they can be worn in ruined cathedrals, old forests, coven meetings, astronomical observatories, secret gardens, private food. I almost said pirates. Pirates. Oh, is that the door marked pirate? I don't see a door marked pirate. I see a marked private. It's private. private boudoirs, vampire mansions, pirate coves, mountain hollers, opium dens, hidden lagoons, enchanted cottages, strange laboratories, gingerbread houses, historic libraries, snow caves, dive bars, catacombs, patisseries, fairy rings, ancient temples, and bawdy houses. That's what I have right here. They also have a sister site called Arcana Craves, and this one has the Arcana Craves collection, which is a collection that has been extremely popular for a long time. It is currently closed. The website is currently closed, but I will link it down below so that if you ever have an interest to go check it out, you can. None of the fragrances I'm talking about right now are from the Arcana Craves collection, though, so we're going to focus just on the Arcana Wildcraft website, again, linked below. So the first fragrance that I have for you is called Death in the Afternoon. And I love, first of all, I love the name of this because it makes me think of Death at a Funeral, which is one of my favorite movies. I love both the British and American versions equally, and it's hilarious. Check it out if you haven't. What Death in the Afternoon actually is another name for the Hemingway cocktail, which is a mix of absinthe and champagne. Chef's kiss. But of course, Death in the Afternoon sounds a lot more fun than Hemingway champagne, Hemingway style Hemingway. Nothing against Mr. Hemingway. I have read quite a few of his works, but he isn't known to liven up a party. I don't think he really livened up parties when he was alive. I feel like he was a fairly or maybe he did. He was an alcoholic. Okay, anyway, I'm off topic. So Death in the Afternoon is based off of an absinthe cocktail, so of course it has an absinthe note. The notes that Arcana Wildcraft have given for this fragrance are a pastiche of absinthe, champagne, sugar, blood orange, tangerine, aniseed, and lemongrass. Death in the Afternoon was created in 2008, but I absolutely did not purchase it then. So sometime between like 2016 and 2019, I think, is when they came like back as Arcana Wildcraft. They did discontinue the fragrance. It is listed as part of Valentine's collection, but it's not in their current Valentine's collection. So just put some on. The first thing you smell right away, even smelling it cold, is orange, the blood orange. Tangerine, yeah, it's juicy, citrusy. Now, mind you, I have had this bottle for a while, so things that may have been more prominent at one point are probably burnt off a little bit, especially if it's something very light, like a sugar note. But I remember in the past being very strongly overwhelmed by anise and the absinthe notes. And here, this that I'm smelling now is a much more sweet citrus scent. So I'm gonna let that sit on my skin for a minute to see if any. I did shake these before I started filming because perfume oils can separate. So you want to gently shake them up if you haven't used them in a while. So anyway, I'm gonna go on to the second one, and then I'll talk more about this once it's developed a bit on my skin. The second fragrance that I have is from their Layering Notes collection, and this is not one that is for everybody, but it's just so well done, and they actually have a very extensive Layering Notes fragrance catalog that I think that if you were looking for something to layer, you could absolutely find that here. Layering a fragrance of a alcohol-based perfume over an oil-based perfume really helps longevity as well. The one that I have is called Pollution. And That sounds terrible. Like, who wants to smell like pollution, right? Let me read to you their description of the fragrance. It says, plumes of black smoke rising from coal fires, burnt vetiver, and a slick of motor oil. If you watched my... Actually, I don't know if this is going to be up before I've put up my top 5 for life indie fragrances, but if you watch that video, you'll see that I have another fragrance that I love that has like a motor oil, or that has like a hot car scent. So this is something in my wheelhouse. Like, this is something that I like, that I know that I like, that I'm not, afraid of. But if those kind of fancy notes don't, work for you, they have so many others to choose from. This could be worn on its own if you were a very daring person. Absolutely. It does smell, at first, very, very much like very smog, heavy, choking smoke scent. I would say that there is a burnt scent. It does have a burning smell. So like if you have a coal burning stove or something like that, this is the type of fragrance, like this type of scent that will be familiar to you. But the vetiver in here smooths it out just a touch, because it is still a burnt vetiver. It's blackened, but it smooths it out just a touch, and it makes it feel less... When I see a picture in my head, I think of like those plumes, like a billowing black smoke, like a forest fire, where you can see the flames in the smoke. With that burnt vetiver added in, it takes the flame part out, so it's mostly just smoky and a little bit green. Not green. I'm contradicting myself, I know, but it's green like a snapped branch is green, not green like a wet grass is green. If that makes sense, I hope that makes sense. And then there is a very, oh my god, I'm so sorry you guys about this collar. There is a very small trail of that motor oil accord, and there is probably other things in here that are sort of rounding off the edges, because it's not like a sharp fragrance. It's not jaggedy or uncomfortable to smell. If you like very smoky, incensey type of scents, you would probably get on with this fragrance. But if you don't like things that smell like incense or burning anything really, burning fires, smoky campfire, any of that, if you don't like that sort of wood fire fragrance, you're definitely not going to want to try this. I can already tell you it won't be up your alley. But for me, I really, really love using pollution year-round as a layering note, as it's intended. I use it with other indie fragrances, other fragrances in oil, but I also use it as a base for some of my more fresh designer and niche perfumes, because it makes them more wearable throughout the rest of the year. So here in Las Vegas, it stays very warm, very temperate for most of the year. Our coldest months are like in the 30s in January or something like that. So most of my perfumes are purchased with the thought in mind that I need a fragrance that performs well in warm weather most of the time. So if I have something that doesn't perform as well in cooler temperatures, I can layer it with this note, this pollution layering note, and it gives it that smokiness. It gives it this depth that helps it become a much more convincing cool weather, cold weather scent. I could layer this with a coffee note. That would be amazing. I can layer this with a gourmand. I can layer this with I don't know if I would layer with white floral. That's one I haven't tried yet, but I could definitely give it a try. But I can also layer it with more fantasy note fragrances. So some of the more edgier niche fragrances that I have, I can layer this with it. And it doesn't go, like, it doesn't smell strange. It smells very, very well blended, and they mesh well, they merge well, so that makes it very valuable to me. But they have so many other layering notes that you could try. Like, just on the same little section of the page here, we have peach, pineapple, pistachio, pumpkin, raspberry, lipstick, seaweed, smoky vanilla, snow, soft violet, strawberry milk, trees, um, coconut, grapefruit, gingerbread, hot cocoa, lavender, candy cane, black tea. Like, literally so many. There's so many, and they're a pretty good price. Again, this style of bottle is common in indie fragrances. This is the 5 ml amber glass bottle, and that is what they use. It's pretty standard. The most inexpensive I see this sort of fragrance size is around $15, 15 to 18. The layering notes are marked at $20, so it's a really good, it's a good price if you want to be able to just throw a certain note into your fragrances without having to buy a bunch of new scents. So, very well done. I love that. I love that they offer that. They're one of the only indie houses that has this large of a collection of layering notes that I've discovered. So, back to Death in the Afternoon. It smells now rich, sweet, still citrusy, but the absinthe is coming up and the lemongrass note is coming out. This smells delicious. Like, this absolutely smells delicious. It's a little, it's probably too old to have any of the fizzy kind of champagne essence left in it. But I'm really surprised that I'm not being overwhelmed by the anise, which is a scent that usually gets stronger with age in these fragrances and not lighter. So again, that could be my current body chemistry. But it's blended so beautifully that it just smells like one gorgeous scent. Truly, it doesn't really feel like you're breaking it down and you're like, okay, I smell this note and I smell this note and I smell this note. It's just one harmonious scent, and it does absolutely smell like a gorgeous cocktail. I love it. And unfortunately, I can't give you a link to purchase. I wish they would bring this back. I've used you can't see in the Everglass, but I've used a pretty good amount of this. I haven't actually spilled any. I'm really careful with my Arcana scents fragrances because they're harder to get. But right now, Arcana is still selling their Valentine's collection. So if you want something that's a little bit more romantic or sexy, they still have some that might fit the bill. A couple I would recommend, just looking at the notes. Amorini, it's a playful mix of cherry candy, 3 vanillas, pink musk, guava sugar, and warm rush of cinnamon hearts. Their cherry note is to die for, so definitely I would try that. We have, for those of you who really want to wear something that you can have fun telling people what you're wearing, they have Thunderous Orgasm, opening with a soft swirl of jasmine sambac absolute and the essence of wild orange grows, then building to a crescendo of wild harvested black spruce, rich amber resin, animal fur accord, black pepper, and a hint of sex musk. I actually might buy that. I might buy that after I'm done here. They have a more of a aquatic themed one, it looks like, called the Sunk Leoness collection, and the Green Dream connection, which seems to be like more herbal. The Coast of Cascadia, so scents about the coastal life in our Pacific Northwest home. If you really like that sort of environment and scent profile. And then the Arcana Classics, the permanent collection. So this is their general catalog. They have Absinthe, their Absinthe fragrance. I actually am going to buy that as well because I haven't tried their Absinthe fragrance. Bonfires at Dusk, that's a good one. Breakfast in Hollywood, haven't tried that one, but I should. Burlesque, that one's a great one. Devilish, Filthy Viking, that one's been popular for a long time. Ganesh, also very popular. Herna, I haven't tried that one. Holy Terror, haven't tried that one. Jane Tarzan, Last Hours of Empires. That one's really good. Leaves Falling Like Rain. That one's really good. Murder Ballad Blues. That one's really good. um, and then also, let's see, Tess, which is based on the Tess of the D'Urbervilles book. And that one's really good. The Huntress. That one's really good. And Two Finger Ballet, which is another popular one based on ladies, you know, ladies. I don't know what to call it without just coming right out and saying orgasm. But anyway, so that's some information about Arcana Wildcraft. I'll have the fragrances linked below, and I'll have the websites linked below. I would love if you check them out and you end up purchasing something. Let me know what you picked up, because I would love to hear more about what you like. And if you have any other indie fragrance brands or scents requests, feel free to let me know, and I can tell you if I have it or if I've tried it. Otherwise, give me a thumbs up on this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. If you have subscribed and you're coming back to see these videos, thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate you. And I guess that's all I have for you today. So go out there and like smell amazing. Okay, bye.